Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. Oh man, do I got a story to tell all you guys. You know, they say that things come in threes, right? Where should I start? 1, 2, or 3? I promised you guys in the last video that your next video would be, the Cutlass on the break-in cycle. We'd be firing this motor up, but if you would take notice, something just looks wrong. I can't put my finger on it. Just something doesn't look right. Let's look. Oh, that's right. Yeah, there's no intake manifold on it right now. Yeah. Yeah. There's no intake manifold on it right now. That's one problem. Problem number 2 is the Camaro definitely has an electrical draw. I'm not sure where it's coming from, but I have a good idea. Like I said last time, we were having that choke light problem on the dashboard. Plugged the choke in, the light went off at the relay, started buzzing. Took the relay out. Well, I went back to start the car up 2 weeks later and the battery was flatlined. And as you saw in the last video, I took it home and I put it on the charger. I mean, it was dead. We've got a hydrometer. We tested all the cells. They're all even. It was just completely discharged. So I'm going to start at that fuse block where the relay went for the choke. Okay, that's problem number 2. Problem number 3. Somebody, the garage where I keep my Camaro, somebody decided to drunkenly, I mean, I don't know if they were drunk, but somebody backed into the garage door and the building. I drove down to the storage unit one day to just check on it because I was in the area. I pull around the corner and I see the bottom half of the garage door just smashed in, and so is the pillar in between the doors. So I had to file a police report with that and everything because I didn't have my key on me, and I thought maybe the door might have hit the Camaro and that would be bad. So anyway, let's get back to this problem child. The intake had to come off the car and actually had to be sent back all the way to California, where I got my parts from. I deal with a certain supplier. I won't mention any names because the guy I deal with is really good to me. Always takes care of me. If there's a problem, the problem is swept under the rug and everything's resolved. So, I had to take the intake off and send it back. I sent that back a couple days ago. That's probably going to take 5 days to get out there. Then when they get it, they'll send me a new intake. What had happened was, okay, hang on. Let's turn on the radio real quick. Anyway, I'm going to give you an example. Here's the old intake off my dad's station wagon motor. It was a Tornado, so it's that low profile intake, but I still got it. Anyway, you see these bolt holes right here? They were precisioned. Precisioned. They were drilled so big and oblonged that they actually drilled it into the water jacket right here. It was a microscopic pinhole, and you can barely see it with the naked eye, man. But it was bored out so big that they bored into the water jacket. Just a pinhole size. So, thank God I listened and I took my dad's advice on this. He said, let's fill up the radiator, but let's not put antifreeze in it in case there's there's a leak or something here or there. Let's put water in it for now and see if there's any leaks. So I put 4 gallons of water in the radiator, and I bumped into my fender, kind of like so, poof. And something out of the corner of my eye, my peripherals, saw something move, and I'm like, what the hell did I just see? I look up, and the whole front side of the intake manifold, in between the runners, was filled up with water. Like, a lake or a swimming pool, swimming hole, whatever you want to call it. The water was coming from the water jacket, through that pinhole, up through the bolt hole, and onto the top of the intake. And meanwhile, I'm like, shit, what the hell's going on, man? Am I getting water in the engine? What's going on? How's it happening? Where's it coming from? We took a shop rag and we sopped up the water, and then I watched the trail. It was coming from that bolt hole, and it was just filling up again. So I called the guy that sold me the intake, And immediately, when I said, hey, I got a slight problem. I'm getting antifreeze coming up through a bolt hole. He said, oh, god damn it. You gotta pull the intake off. I'm like, yeah? He's like, yeah, it's a common problem. I was using it's actually an old Offenhauser style knockoff. It's an orange chicken Chinese intake. You know how shit goes. Who raff now, round eye? But anyway, he knew what the problem was right away. He told me how to pull the manifold off, box it up, send it out. You know, Pony Express picks that up, it goes out. Takes a year to get there, a year to come back. Now, that intake has such a problem that they actually discontinued it. So, if you remember correctly, it was a single plane intake. I'm not going to be using a single plane. He's actually going to send me it's a knockoff, but it's an Edelbrock RPM air gap style intake. Now, I wanted one of those from the get-go, but they didn't have any, so I settled for that single plane. So, you know, you win some, you lose some, and meanwhile, Dad's bitching, well, who's going to pay for the labor on this shit? So, I mean, you know, it's a setback. I was ready to fire this thing up, but now I'm going to get the intake that I wanted to begin with. I think it's going to be a much more streetable intake running a dual plane on this car for the street than that single plane. And, you know, the motor's balanced, but it's not like I'm going to take this thing up past 5,500 RPMs anyway to really take advantage of a single plane, so it kind of works out. Anyway, I'm going to cut the camera, and I'm going to pull up pictures on my phone of what the garage door looks like, where the garage I keep the Camaro and the Skylark in. I was not expecting it, and you know, it's an outdoor storage unit, and it's not like fenced off, it's not privatized. So out of like 10 buildings or 10 garage doors that could have got hit, mine got hit. Alright, so here we go. You ready for it? Like I said, I was across the street at a decent restaurant, and I figured while I'm down in that section of town, why not, you know, walk around the corner and check on my storage unit like I always do. And this is what I walked into. It's the first thing I saw. Now, if you look at this, it looks like a tire tread. It almost looks like the back wheel of a backhoe. It's got that V groove tread going on. Now, they hit the door here. They hit the building there. There's the building. There it is again. There's what I thought might have been damaged on the Camaro. The Camaro did not get hit, but I thought it did. So anyway, if you look at, like I said, that tread. Now, across from where I keep the car, across from the storage units, there's a big rig, like an automotive shop, but for big rigs. I think somebody new there, or maybe a longtime member, but I think somebody with a big rig working on a truck tried to three-point turn a truck in the alleyway and just backed into the building. Just boom! Because if you did that with a car, to hit the, not just the door, but to bust up the building the way they did, the car is not going to make it far. You definitely folded the hood, you blew out the radiator, you screwed your shit up. But if a big rig backed into it, you know, that's completely understandable, and that would explain the tire. You know, a rig without a trailer. So, once I went home and I got the key and I opened up the door and made sure the car was alright. The cops came back. They took more pictures. But the inside of the building, like in between the garage doors, all the drywall's busted out. They buckled a steel brace on the floor. The garage door frame is all buckled up top. The door only opens 3/4 of the way now. And, you know, it was a pretty shitty building to start with, but I'm just glad that the Camaro didn't get hit, because when I first discovered it, I didn't have my key, and I was just, everything's running through my head. How far did that door swing under? Did it smash my car in the face? What's my car look like? So, yeah, things come in three. Got the intake manifold, the Camaro's got an electrical draw, the garage got hit, but at least the Camaro didn't get hit. So, my landlord's gonna take care of the building. He's not that worried about it, neither am I. But, man, I was pretty worried for a minute. But, anyway, that's going to be the end of this video. You know, I just wanted to check in, let everybody that's following the build know what's actually going on. Bring y'all up to speed. Say Happy Labor Day. I think that's what it is. Yes, Labor Day. The day that they say don't work. I finally did get my license back, the blow and go license. So I've been driving the Mustang for the past week. I put about 500 miles on it, and I've driven it 5 times. So if you want to average that out, I've driven about 100 miles each time. I'm getting used to it. The car fights me a lot because the Hydro Boost is taking a shit. So I have no power steering and no power brakes under 1,000 RPMs. It likes to pull to the right. I gotta figure out what's going on up front. I just got it inspected though. Passed inspection alright. And oh, the gearbox is kind of sloppy. And the throwout bearing, I believe, is going bad. If you put the car in neutral and you just lightly touch the clutch, just let your foot be present, the clutch chatters. It goes, and you can hear it chattering under the car. So hopefully the throwout bearing don't go bad and leave me stranded on the side of the road. But yeah, it's a hybrid, man. I've got power steering and I've got power brakes until I'm under 1,000 RPMs. So then I have nothing. It's a challenge. It's fun. It's a workout. I'm getting good at driving the thing. And I will say this. Out of all the trash talk I always talk on Fords and Mustangs and all that, I own one now, and I drive one now. And my opinion hasn't changed. If anything, it's just developed. And now I can back up my statements with experience. People are like, oh man, don't knock it till you try it. Well, I've got one now, and it's just proving me right. Oh. It's awkward to drive, man. I like to sit in the back seat when I drive. I actually have to move the seat forward in this car. The clutch is way up there. It's super stiff. The shifter is way up here. So it's not comfortable to drive. It's definitely a workout. It's got working AC, which is a good thing because I definitely sweat when I drive the thing. It's a challenge, but I'm getting used to it. So I'll catch everybody later. I'll keep you updated on this as it comes along. This project's way overdue, and I know some people out there, not everyone, because some people have just stopped watching altogether, but those of you that stuck around and are waiting for this thing, I know you're waiting for it. You're waiting for it like I am. I can't wait to hear this thing fire for the first time, and as soon as that happens, you guys will know about it. There'll be a brief update before you get a full video, so don't go nowhere, sit tight. I'm working through some shit right now, and I'll check you later, so take it easy.